what a week that was. It was exciting. I mean, it was huge swings. It was up. It was down. It was SpaceX at the end. It was SpaceX dragging their feet, trying to get everybody excited. The market give us plenty of options, whether you're a bull or a bear. Our watch list is looking good. We're thinking about some new stocks for it. But hey, let's just get together and talk about this crazy week that was here on Friday after the bell. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's have a little bit of full disclosure where we talk about everything that we already talk about, where we have our watch list and we just want to see how it's doing, how we are coming along. You know, you're wondering how things are going along and compare them to how you're doing in the selections that you may have picked up or chosen to join us in battle in taking. So we've been talking about rocket stocks and, of course, SpaceX today. What an amazing day it was. What an incredible week it's been. The rocket stocks, we're tailing off of rocket stocks, with the exception of Rocket Labs. Now, all this, you do whatever you want to do. It's your money, and you may think that I'm completely wrong in it. But Rocket Labs is the one I'm going to focus on because it is released today, or at least I just found out today, that Rocket Labs is going to be going into the NASDAQ. And that is always a huge move for the stock that gets included into the NASDAQ indices. So what we have is it's already gained good momentum from the rocket section and everybody going with this SpaceX thing, so it's got good notability. It's going to take a little bit of a hit, you know, right now, but then going in NASDAQ, it's going to go back up. So we're going to keep Rocket Labs in the works. We still got two plays on it. Got 36 days on a put and a put credit spread, but they're both big trades. We're loving the way they're looking. Even though it's still down, we have a $95 strike on that put, which we love that strike right there if we would happen to take those shares. We've also been talking about drones. Drones are going to kind of take a breather here for a second and then pick back up as the days progress. But of course, you know, everything's going to be focused on kind of a SpaceX kind of focus. So, you know, the big dog has come into the park, so everybody's going to pay attention to the big dog for a minute. But we're going to still stick with watching UMAC. We really like making plays on UMAC, although the past couple weeks it's kind of been out, so we've been out on UMAC. But RCAT has turned out to be a dandy of a stock for us. We actually made two aggressive puts originally in RCAT and got put to stock for both of them. So we have 200 shares of RCAT and could care less. We have them at $11 a share. We've also got two other puts on that are looking really good and a couple of calls, of course, because we have 200 shares of stock. Looking on, we also are going to stick with in the quantum computer. Maybe it's my darling. It's kind of a personal bias, but I'm going to stick with Rigetti. I've got three naked puts on in Rigetti at different layers going on. That's all that's left out of them. They'll be able to get out of there. I think the longest dated one is 21 days. So we got 7, 14, and 21 days. One of them at $21 strike is, you know, looking a little shaky, but I don't care. That's where it's at. If I take the shares, I love it, but I think it's going to be just fine as well. And looking on, we've talked about some of the new candidates, and I'm sticking with those new candidates. SoundHound, Serve Robotics, both have done absolutely nothing. And for our intents and purposes, hey, we love nothing. We love you sitting around, jacking around, doing nothing, going up 50 cents or some kind of nonsense, because our puts are just ching, 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 ringing the register, baby. That's the way we love it. And it's still setting. Both of them still setting around that $7 region. So we've just been doing, you know, running the puts on them. And then, if we actually have a few hundred shares combined of both of them. So we've just been running our Jade Dragons. We've been running coverage strangles. If you don't know those strategies, by all means, watch those videos, check it out, learn those. But they've been great. I mean, you're making a very good draw on those, sometimes 6 to 12% during one cycle of puts. Now, that's a good income. That's a very good return on investment if you're making that on your investments in a month. You know, you're not going to get anywhere near that in a year in a bank. So let's just face facts. It's a very good play. They're both been played. We're going to stick with those. I still like Joby. I still like Archer because they're both beat up and they're both not doing anything. We like all four of those stocks for the same reason. They're not doing anything. They're not going anywhere, but still you got some good premium and it's a good solid play. So we're sticking with them. We're rolling with it. We're keeping with it. And a couple other good ones. Silver's way down right now. Silver is going down a little bit even today, this week. It's down around that 60 handle. I mean, that's a really good entry point down in that. If you get it down around that 50 handle, that's an excellent entry point for SLV. as I would call it. SLV is a much more manageable trade and size for, the people out there that have a smaller account, because all of these stocks we've been talking about are for a smaller account. APLD is one of the more expensive ones. It's running around that $40 range for our comparative notes here. APLD has done us well. It has served us well for a long time. We got put shares in APLD at $5 a share. So we have been hanging out with this stock for a long time. However, the strangle did kick our hind end this last time. It was a big loss, but that's okay because we turned around and the strangle went one way. We went ahead and put on a naked put. We got, a little bit of that back, but hey, that's okay because you're going to lose. There's going to be losing trades. There's going to be chances that you get things wrong, and that's just part of the game. Hey, I hate losing trades. I hate losing trades, any of them. It doesn't matter if it's a put credit spread or anything. $1 to $1,000. A losing trade sucks, but that's just part of the game. And you just got to accept it, and you just do your best not to have them, and you lick your wounds and go on. Also, Rivian. Rivian's an interesting one. I've been seeing some news about Rivian and working on trying to get that more introduced into the American society and having places here or factories here. I don't know, some kind of avenue for Rivian to be sold in the United States in a greater number. And Rivian is something, it'll drop down to that $12 or $13 range and hang out there for a minute. Then it'll pop up to about 16, 17, 18, and it'll go back down. So you just watch that flow. If it's down around that $12, don't be afraid to put in that naked put. Go ahead, throw your hat in the ring and see what happens, because it's going to go up after that. Now, there's no guarantees of that, but that's usually the process that it takes. And one of these times they're going to release, hey, we've become this great deal to start selling, 1,000 times more Rivians in America than was already sold. And that stock's going to jump to, 20, 22. So, just keep an eye on it. But it's a good play. It usually carries a good premium for our options trade. And maybe you're a Rivian fan. Maybe you like the vehicle. And if you get down there around that $12 range and you can get in at that and then start, reducing that by selling calls on it, that's a pretty good play right there for you. I guarantee it. So that's a quick wrap up on what's going on in our portfolio. SOFI's been kicking our hind end, but today it's showing life. Don't call it a comeback. Here it is. It's off the mat. It's coming back up. So I have faith in SOFI again. We've got 2 puts in there and a long dated option in that as well. That is looking for it to go somewhere around $20 before the end of summer. But hey, that's all that's going on. That's all we've recommended. And everything that we've been talking about, we're going to, we'll wrap it up here. If I'm in it, I'll let you know. If I'm taking a butt kicking, I'll let you know. If it's a good play, I'll let you know that too. But I just want to have full disclosure on all of the things we talk about in our watch list so you can make sure you know what's going on.